stage, they can put it in their own little pot, and that can become their foci. Just like some people use a candle, they'll use their little pot once a day or just when they're in childcare to just sit and practice their 1 minute of mindfulness of breath while they just focus their eye on their plant. Okay, and they might also add just 1 minute of loving kindness for the plant, 1 minute of loving kindness for mum or whoever they're growing their plant for, because that's where this lesson plan becomes really great. It layers into something. If we do use succulents, and we can create a long-term project and just keep repeating the opportunity to practice the mindfulness, practice loving kindness, and also practice caring for the plant, nurturing the plant. And these are really hardy. If your child's only coming 2 days a week, that's fine. These guys only need water once a week. So they're a really good choice. All right. If you don't want to use succulents and you still want to do this lesson plan, you can cut out some shapes because we're working with shapes. So you can cut out rectangles, circles, triangles, squares, and then just ask the children to work with that. And maybe you'll just ask each child to make their own little house rather than co-create a group project. So whatever works for you. If you want to use nature still, but you don't want to do the succulent version, you can just have the children go outside and get some leaves and some twigs and some bark and whatever else they can find out there to build their own little creation. And then we're repurposing, so it's good like that as well. We're getting them to really be creative, and we're just giving them that opportunity to practice their mindfulness. So back to focusing on the actual group activity with succulents, because that's what this is actually about. You'll just ask each child to sit with their own leaf while they wait for their turn to come up and add to the project. Now you might have a photo of what it's going to look like, something like what I've got there, or you might just draw a picture of a house, like a stick figure drawing of a house, and tell them they've got to dot that out. You might even put dots in the piece of dirt so each child knows where their leaf might go next. It's not going to be difficult. They all have a turn to just get up and go and put their leaf there, so they really are co-creating together. And the others, when it's not their turn, they sit there with their leaf, and this is where the mindfulness of breath comes in. You're just asking them to just sit there, nice big breath, to calm down. They're going to look at their leaf and practice mindfulness by paying attention in a particular way. And in this particular way, they're going to just notice what comes up for them inside of them when they look at their leaf. Okay, so for me, I can see all the colors that are in the leaf and in the flower that are actually in my hand as well. And I might just feel the leaf with my finger and just focusing continuously on my breath and here. So I know that's the purpose of the exercise, and that's what you're letting them know. The purpose of the exercise is to just stay with your breath and stay with your leaf on your hand. So we're just staying here. We're focusing our attention in a particular way. So that's it. Once it's all built, they've got their little house, they can all come and have a look at it. Before that, you might want to ask them all to share their experience of what they thought, what popped up for them, what was it like. So they have that time to just come out and talk and chatter. And then after that, we can bring them back to the actual artwork and have them gather around and maybe point out the shapes. Where's the square? Where's the circle? Where's the triangle? Where's the rectangle? So we're getting that recall in, as well as it being a creative project. We're getting recall in for them on their shapes If they're the 3-year-olds, they might be just learning those shape names for the first time, or they're still trying to remember them. So we're getting that in there as well. And then you're going to ask them all to sit down, and once again just return to their breath, because they're going to do a meditation. Always let them know they're going to practice mindfulness. They're going to practice a meditation. And for that first meditation, it will be a mind's eye meditation. If you haven't had the chat about what's the mind's eye, have that chat. When we dream, we close our eyes and we see with another eye that's not our eyes. That's our mind's eye that we see with. So this is the one we're going to use. Everyone, close your eyes and imagine that you're standing at your front door, and you'll take them through. So that's the mind's eye meditation. Taking them from their front door to their bed, sitting on their bed, getting them to take 3 breaths of gratitude, just being grateful for their bed and their own little space. Get them to just slowly walk through their house to their bedroom, and then have them sit there and imagine they're looking around their room at all the things that are theirs, and then they can be grateful for those things. They can be grateful for the roof. They can be grateful for the food they get in the house, the clothes they get to wear, and everything. So you can just take them through a little mind's eye meditation, and then bring them. You can either bring them out or continue on, and roll it straight into our loving kindness meditation by just saying, now let's think of everyone in the house, everyone that lives under that roof with us, and we're going to send them thoughts of loving kindness. So you just spend 10 seconds there promoting that for them and helping them really feel it. Tell them to take it into their heart, put the people in their heart, and really feel that sense of feeling love and feeling kindness towards those people. Okay. And then, ground them, bring them out, and ask them to wiggle their toes, wiggle their fingers, scrunch their nose, get all the wiggles out because they have sat still for a couple of minutes, and ask them to share, get that communication going, share time. And then you can take the lesson into, looking at the shapes. Again, let's go back to thinking about the shapes. Even in our own houses, we have squares and windows and rectangles for roofs. And so you're getting them to think about the shape and bring it out to have them take turns finding shapes in the room. And they can all just identify a shape within the room. And then we can take it to pen and paper time, so they can have some colours and some paper, and then they might draw a picture of their own home, or maybe they want to draw a picture of the home they'd like to live in one day, their own home, whatever. Just they're drawing a home. Might just draw a house, doesn't even have to be theirs, but they're just finishing it off by drawing a picture of a house. And once again, they're bringing in those shapes, and they're mindful. You're asking them to be mindful of when they're drawing a square. Draw their square very carefully, and don't worry if you go out of the lines. Don't, that's the time you can ask them to just give them self-compassion and be kind to themselves if they did make a mistake, because it's just a time to really just explore our skills. So you're focusing on those fine motor skills at the end of the lesson, and just getting them to have fun thinking about what colours they're going to use. And they don't even have to draw a house. If they're 3-year-olds and they can't draw a house yet, you might just have them use colour. Okay, you give them colour and ask them to pick a colour that they feel they resonate with, that they really want to use, and they could just put the colour, like if you want to make it more abstract, you can just say, okay, pick a colour that you really like and you really want to work with, and draw a shape on your page, and it doesn't have to be a square, circle, or rectangle. It could be a wobbly shape. It doesn't matter. Whatever shape you feel represents you and your experience today, put that down on the paper. Okay, and then you might ask them to add another color to it, add another shape to that shape. So we're just getting them to practice those fine motor skills, and then asking them to really pay attention to how they're using their pencil and how they're putting that color down on the paper. So we're bringing that informal mindfulness into the lesson. So we're not saying you're practicing mindfulness for this particular part of the lesson, but we're getting them to really be mindful and pay attention to how they're using that pencil and how they're connecting with that paper. It's just a little bit of guidance there. And that's the lesson. Once again, at the end, get them to share their photos, their pictures, and have a little